Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. We are in Queenstown in Tasmania at the moment, and we've stayed here the night. We just had breakfast and we are at the Galley Museum in Queenstown. Apparently there's 30 rooms to walk through and have a look around and see the history of Queenstown. So I'll just take you around at some of the rooms that we have in this gorgeous old building, which apparently was the first brick pub built in Queenstown. So let's have a look around. This room is dedicated to the North Mount Lyell disaster, where a fire broke out on the 12th of October in 1912. This fire ended up killing 42 miners. When the fire began, there were 170 miners working in that mine at the time. 73 of them managed to escape on the first day. There were many others that were trapped in remote areas of the mine. It took just over half a day for rescue equipment to arrive, and once rescuers were able to enter the mine, they came across a group of miners that had sadly perished. One of them had left a really sad note pinned to a piece of timber. 2 days after the fire, the rescuers were able to lower over 300 metres of rope with a signal at the end of it, and later in the afternoon, when they'd pulled the rope up, there was a handkerchief wrapped around it with a tobacco tin, and inside there was a penciled note: 40 men in Stope, send food and candles at once, no time to lose, J. Ryan. It took rescuers 4 days before the last of the survivors was able to be brought to the surface. This room shows all about the rescue efforts. It tells you the names of the people who perished as a result of the fire, the families that they left behind, the equipment that was used to help rescue the miners. We also had a chat with one of the caretakers of the museum. He and his brothers worked in the mines alongside their father many decades ago. So this is Ralph Burns, who runs the
You
help run the Queenstown
Galley Museum.
And you've been a miner before.
Yes, 33 years with Mount Lyell. Yeah, I've started off from Mount Lyell in the big workshop, then I moved underground and stayed there until 1994 when Mount Lyell sold the mine to an Indian company.
Oh, interesting. What was originally mined here? Was it gold or?
When they first came here in 1885, they thought they had a gold mine, and it worked out that it was copper, gold and silver.
Okay.
And it originated from there. And
right.
At the present time it's on care and maintenance.
Yeah.
There is other mines on the west coast. We have a gold mine, an anti-gold mine, half hour from here.
Right. Yeah.
And further on we have a mine at Renison Bell and another one at Rosebery.
And is it all copper and silver and things?
A combination of
Okay.
minerals.
Yeah. But there's no mining here anymore? Or?
At the present time it's on care and maintenance, the one here at Mount Lyell.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting, because the price of copper has, like, I'm a bit of a scrap metal dealer, and the price of copper, even for scrap copper, has gone through the roof.
They tell me it has.
So I would imagine that would make mines that were barely barely viable suddenly become more viable because the price is,
That's right, they'd be certainly going after it.
Yeah,
That's for
interesting. Sure. And is copper found as an ore, or is it found in its pure form?
No, it's found in the rocks and everything that they glass.
As copper?
Yeah.
Okay, because something like aluminium they have to process, don't you?
Goes through the process and through the mines, flotation.
Because I was interested to see in the other room that crowbar that's coated with copper.
Yeah, that was laying against the wall underground.
Yeah.
It was found like that.
So the copper kind of just formed over it.
Encrusted itself around it.
That's amazing.
Over many years, I presume.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. There was an old saying about Lyell, you've got a good day's pay for a good day's hard work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I come from farming stock, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. What about the temperature underground? Is it always the same?
Yeah, firstly always the same, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think I'd ever want to be a miner.
No, we're too precious.
You wouldn't want to be claustrophobic. I'd imagine it'd be small spaces, or is it?
No, it was pretty well open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the drives were pretty big.
In the early days it would have been pick and shovel though, wouldn't it?
Back in those early days, yeah. I've got nothing but admiration for those early mines, pick and shovel and an old wooden wheelbarrow, and steel wheel.
That's doing it
filling
tough.
that up and carting it away.
Yeah.
It must have been Must have been horrendous walking.
Oh, I have trouble digging the garden. That's awesome. Thanks, Rob. Fantastic.
That's no worries.
They've done an amazing job preserving all of this information for history. What a fabulous room. And there's only about 29 to go. With 30 rooms in this building, there's just way too much to show you. Every room has its own theme. Whether it's a collection of crockery, a radio room, an emergency services room, a hospital room, there's even a school room, an old laundry and kitchen room. There's a theme in every single room in this old hotel, and there's just so much to see. I think you could spend hours in here, so I'm only going to show you a few snippets. There's a huge collection of memorabilia in here. Definitely worth a visit. So that was quite a lengthy tour of the Galley Museum in Queenstown, Tasmania. There was so much to see, and we had a great chat with one of the guys that helps take care of the museum. I hope the sound worked on that. But here's just the background of all the mountains all around the town. It's drizzling a bit now. But yeah, this was definitely the highlight of Queenstown, was visiting the museum. Best museum we've ever seen. We've just left the most gorgeous little town called Strawn. It's a really quaint little village. You can check that out on Chris's channel. But now we've come for a bit of a drive. It's only about 5 k's out of town. And look at the beach here, absolutely gorgeous. These are the kind of beaches that I used to go to as a kid, and we used to all swim. Well, we thought we were safe, but they're pretty dangerous with the tides and the rips and everything. But yeah, it's very windy out here, as you can see. Next, we're heading to a town called Zeehan, which apparently was the 3rd largest town in Tasmania at one stage. We're starting to run out of time. We just drove quickly through Zeehan, and we've stopped at a little town called Rosebery, which is on the west coast of Tasmania. We saw a sign for some waterfalls, so we thought we'd have a quick look. That looks kind of cool over here as well. This place is only about 25 k's from Zeehan. And I don't think we have very far to go before we get to Tullah, which is the place that we're going to be stopping for the night. We arrived at the Tullah Lakeside Lodge with just enough daylight to go and explore a little bit, so let's take a walk and have a look and see what's around. The lake that we're just about to come up to is called Lake Rosebery, and it's surrounded by forests and huge mountain ranges. Just stunning. Have a look around. It's just gorgeous. This is a great place to use as a base so that you can go on hiking adventures or check out waterfalls in the area. Even Cradle Mountain's not very far away as well. And then there are kayaks. You can use these kayaks to paddle around on the lake here. It's very calm. I'm hiding from Chris. He's up on the next level up. Here I am. Where are you? I've been exploring. There's a couple of magnificent fireplaces in the restaurant area as well. One is over by the bar, which is the one that you can see here. And then there's another one over in the dining area. This place is virtually in the middle of nowhere, but when we had dinner here, it was absolutely packed. The food and the service were really good too. It's the next morning. We've packed the car up and we're just about to head off and go up to Cradle Mountain and then see if we can check out some caves that are nearby as well. We've been told there's going to be snow down to 200 metres, but sadly we're going to miss that. But in a good way, we're lucky we're going to miss that because our tournament starts tomorrow and we wouldn't be able to get out of here. It's just been a delight to come and stay here. We've stayed one night in each of the 3 towns that we've been at, and this is by far the best. And I think if we came back here again, we'd probably do 2 or 3 nights. It's such a beautiful, peaceful place around here. Look at the mountains. This lodge is right on the point of a lake, and you've got the lake virtually going all the way around it. It's just beautiful. So if you're ever over in the west of Tasmania, you want to find a really nice place to stay, come to the Tullah Lakeside Lodge. It is just gorgeous. They have breakfast, lunch and dinner. They do meals all day, beautiful big open fireplaces, and it's just a really nice, serene place. Anyway, we're off to explore. Catch you soon. Chris and I are, where are we? At Mole Creek.
Mole Creek at one of the caves. The first cave we went to was closed.
King Solomon's Mines was closed because of the storm damage they had last week.
This is the Marakoopa cave.
At Mole Creek. So we're hoping next week we might actually find some time to be able to go to the other caves after our tournament, if we can still walk.
Apparently, there's lots of steps in the caves.
Well, there's apparently 200 steps in this one, so we're hoping we make it.
Can we take the car?
Anyway, let's go find the rest of the group and we'll go and check out the cave and show you what we can.
The tour is at 1:30.
1.
1.
It's in 5 minutes.
We better go.
Bye. So we're just about to meet up with the tour guide and the rest of the tour. And it turns out Chris and I have actually been here before. We came to Tasmania 10 years ago when we last came for the Nationals. And this was one of our first stops. So we remember going into the cave and checking out the glowworms and everything. So we didn't know that we'd already been here, but we've bought our tickets. You guys haven't been. So you guys hopefully will enjoy this tour with us. This is such a beautiful spot. We're inside the Marakoopa cave. The footage is going to be quite dark in here because you're not allowed to use flash photography and we can't film the glowworms at all. It's a World Heritage listed site, and Marakoopa is an Indigenous word which means handsome. There are lots of chambers in the cave. You'll see all sorts of stalactites and stalagmites. I think one grows from the ceiling, the other one grows from the ground. You'll have to Google that, I'm not really sure. And they've been forming slowly over millions of years. There are underground rivers flowing throughout the cave. The upper chamber of the cave is known as the Great Cathedral, and it's got really good acoustics. So if you can sing, or if you dare to sing, apparently you're supposed to sound pretty good. Nobody in the tour group was game enough to try. I counted 200 steps, but apparently there's 250 steps to get from the entrance of the cave all the way up to the cathedral chamber. The cathedral chamber used to be used for church or religious services, and it would take people half a day to get up there. There have been weddings up there as well.
So they opened this cave for tours in 1911. You know, back then they would come to the cathedral for church. It took them half a day to get to the cathedral. But this is known as a shield, and it's basically a plate of calcite crystal that formed, so the liquid formed between two layers of limestone, but the limestone has gone. Now, to get those beautiful flat curtains, that is crystal, it's created a track, and then the next drop traced the same path. So you're basically getting a line of crystal on a line, on a line, on a line. Over time, they grow flat, like a blade.
Do they ever perform weddings up here?
We have weddings sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite rare to have a wedding. Artists love this place, whether it's their voice or an instrument. They're not used to hearing it in a natural reverberation. Usually they practice in synthetic environments, so they love it.
What do you reckon, Chris? You want to get married?
No, we got up.
Oh, please.
We like each other too much to get married.
Oh, you're saying wedding? Had a total relighting in 2016. We had the flood we had in 2016 was the first major event that we've known of. We
Wouldn't have got up here though, would it? Wouldn't have got up to this part.
No, it didn't, but it compromised the lighting system. So it was a wonderful opportunity actually for us to relight, we had to relight the cave.
So that's the end of our cave journey, and look, I've got to say I'm really claustrophobic, so I did well to hang in there. They have this great big red cave spider. It's almost as big as a huntsman. If you've ever seen our big huntsmans, they're horrifying. And the tour guide was lovely enough to show us a big spider just as we were walking out the door. So I'm still cringing. But we had a great time. We have been here before. It's a really nice cave. There's one chamber we couldn't take photos in because of the glowworms. Hope you've enjoyed that tour. Now what are we going to do? Look for some lunch and find our way back to Deloraine because we've got to pick up a coat and our car keys that Chris left behind on our first night. See you soon. All right, Chris and I are at the Silver Dome in Tasmania. We are all set to play our matches. It's late Friday. We've just come in to check out the stadium. Have a look at this. There's, I think, 35 tables all set up in the one room. We're all set to play and I'm a little bit sweaty because Chris and I have just been having a quick hit. We've got our matches all sorted for tomorrow and ready to get started. Wish me luck, otherwise I'm going to have to go and buy my own trophy. I can't bring you to the Nationals without showing you a little bit of footage of one of my matches. You'll be pleased to know that I did actually beat my record. Previously I've only ever won one game and one match, and both times I bawled my eyes out. This time I held it together. I didn't need my pocket tissues. I ended up winning 4 matches over the entire tournament. So I've smashed my previous record, and I even managed to get a few games off some really talented players as well. I'm not very good at this game. I've only been playing for 8 years. Prior to that, I'd never played a ball sport in my life. I'm still learning how to move my feet, hit the ball properly, watch the spin. There's so many things you've got to learn in this game. It's quite frustrating. I didn't end up winning this particular match, but I had lots of fun trying. Here's a look at Chris. He plays a much better quality game than what I do. He did actually go on to win this match in 5, so well done to Chris. I'm also going to end the video here. We've only got a couple of days left in Tasmania. Our tournament's almost finished and we're getting a little bit weary, so we're going to chill out for a little bit and do a couple of quick tours before we head home. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.